Uh,
Cairo, just like Egypt. Yes.
okay. And so I just want to make it clear, and you will speak on behalf of Queen Mother, is that? Or you will speak?
I was giving my few minutes now, or 1 minute now, on her behalf, because I do have to go at 9 a.m. So I just wanted to come represent her at this time.
Yeah. 好 ，excuse me, could you record? She would give now. You record her video about 2 or 3 minutes.
Yes, I already started the recording in Zoom. So Carol, if you want, you can give the speech now because we already have this recording. We can edit the video later after the event, and we can have a better organized video. So if you want, you can start the speech on behalf of Queen Mother.
It would be my pleasure. Give me 1 moment.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Or she also, speak on herself, but on behalf of New Future Foundation. Is that so?
Yes. That is correct.
On behalf of her organization. Thank you.
Yes. And
when you start, and our moderator would make a record. Okay. Just
no problem.
Yeah, when you start.
Would you like for me to begin? May I begin? Okay, fantastic. All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are. My name is Kyra Eubanks, and I am the proud youth representative for New Future Foundation to the United Nations, as well as a youth representative steering committee member for the United Nations Department of Global Communications. And in order for me to say a few words on behalf of Queen Mother, I first must thank her. I have to thank her for giving me a seat at the table. You have to understand that the way in which I met Queen Mother Dr. Blakely was not by accident, but instead at a conference held by Global Ovid Day Seminary and University, where she was one of the speakers. And I remember being so enthralled by her, the words that she shared, and also the message that she gave us in terms of inspiring and uplifting those of the African diaspora and those of the African descent. And when I spoke with her outside of that event that I was moderating, I told Queen Mother I wanted her to mentor me. I said, I want to learn from you. And over the years, we've developed a relationship to the point now where I'm her youth representative, and I'm able to actually represent her on the steering committee for the United Nations Department of Global Communications. And just to think about the several years that have passed in which we've been able to connect, she's been able to mentor me, pour into me, and help me become the woman I am today, to then be able to give back and impact so many young women around the world. It is truly my passion. And the fact is that she saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. And so I'm here representing New Future Foundation with that understanding that this is a responsibility that I have as her representative, working within the United Nations as her youth representative and working to represent her NGO, that it is my duty, it is my obligation, it is my commitment to then use this platform to inspire others. And I thank you so much for allowing me to just say a few words, to share the journey that Queen Mother has led me to even be able to speak with you all today, and to also let you know that as a youth representative on the steering committee for the Department of Global Communications, I have the honor of moderating the Equal Work, Equal Pay civil society briefing that's happening next week at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I say that because I get to represent New Future Foundation in this capacity as the moderator. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave the link in the chat. Thank you so much for letting me say a few words, and blessings.
Okay, thank you very much, Carol. And it's a very nice speech, and we will share it with our colleagues after this event. So it's a very great pleasure to have you here with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have only 9 minutes. Okay, we can start a little earlier. No, just for please, every speaker, if you have joined us, you can try, try your microphone, or okay, and try your you make your like you can make other people see you. Okay, and some speakers have already provided the video. Okay, so Li after I make my just opening address, can you, when you started your monitor work, so can you just put some speaker the video? Okay, that's all upon your your control. Okay.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, it's all upon you. And yeah, only feel. Can you hear me now?
Yes, very clear.
Hear me? Okay, yeah, that's very good. So maybe we will start about a few minutes earlier. Oh, not yet. Yeah, we'll have some more participants, yeah, from China. Not yet, yeah, because of time. Okay, just a few minutes. Now is, what time is your time, Li Gen? Did I think it's, no.
My time is now 12:53, 7 minutes to 1 o'clock here. Yeah, in the UK, we have this summertime at the end of this month, 27th March.
27 March, oh.
Yes, this month, the end of every March's last Saturday night, they will change the time. Then we will have 7 hours between here and China.
Yeah. Here in California, yeah, I'm in California is, yeah, nearly 6 o'clock, 6 a.m., just 5 minutes, 6 minutes, yeah, to 6 a.m. Still early morning. Okay, yeah. Okay, just wait a moment.
Hello again. I just wanted to let you know this is Cairo Eubanks of New Future Foundation. I wanted to share inside of the chat the link to register for the event that I had alluded to just now, which is Equal Work, Equal Pay. That is a youth-led civil society briefing that is being held by the Department of Global Communications. And as a steering committee member, I will be representing New Future Foundation. So I wanted to give an example of the sort of impact, for example, that is made when, for example, women are given a seat at the table, as I said, given an opportunity to lead and given an opportunity to then give, to share the resources that they have been blessed with or endowed with to then bestow upon others. So I just sent the link here. It is Equal Work, Equal Pay. It's happening next week, Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because I know that you start in a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and mute myself now, but want to thank you again for allowing me to speak on behalf of Queen Mother. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Carol. We see the link here. And now we already have our speakers come in, and we may start in 2 minutes.
Can we start now?
Should I stop sharing?
Yeah, I think
it's the right time.
Yeah, it should be the right time.
Okay, sure. With my pleasure, I'm very delighted to be the moderator for this parallel event at this NGO CSW66 Forum, the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. And we are very glad to have the organizers, Dr. Ruomei here, and our speakers to give this event for all the audience around the world. So first of all, let me say good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And we will start our speech with the welcome speech from the organizer, Dr. Ruomei. So please, Dr. Ruomei, to give you the welcome address for the audience. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Dr. Ruomei Li, and now the IEEE Women in Power and the Leadership Advisory Committee Chair. First of all, thanks for your participation and support to our forum. Yeah, yes, and I should thanks our NGO CSW parallel events organizer for providing this platform for all the world women from all over the world to have discuss and communication. And this forum would focus on the climate change, their effect, and how we action to this energy and power supply security. As CO2 emissions is growing year by year, and global climate change accelerates, natural disaster and extreme weather, the situation increase. This firstly would affecting the energy security around, even around all over the world. Yeah, because I'm from China. We have several natural disasters last year. Energy, but at the same time, the energy production and transmission is also the main sources of CO2 emissions. Yes, our government stakeholders, they publish some, policies, strategies to make already some achievements. But what we can do, our women, our women, especially in the engineering, the technology, science, this field, they have their specialties. Beside the professional capability, the women, they were born, they love nature, they love the environment, okay? They have the concern, focus on it. And the women engineers, the women science and technology, and they know better or about what's the requirement, expectation of our customers. So to keep security, to make it more energy efficiency, to just meet the customer requirement and for the sustainable development for rely SDGs, our women can play very important function. This session co-organized by IEEE Women Power and New Future Foundation. We were very glad to provide some service to all our people. They have focused on this area and to give the platform for women engineers in this field. And later, our women speakers, these are female this time, from all over the world, the South America, North America, Africa, Europe, Asia, all the regions, they will give their speech to share their experience and the viewpoint. And later we'll have Q&R. Okay, you're welcome. So the next, we'll let Dr. Li Gen to moderate.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ruomei. It's a very nice speech and it's very inspiring. So our next speaker will be the co-chair of this event, Kun Mother. So is Kun Mother here or her assistant is here to play her video? Peter?
This is Peter. Yes, I can play the video from Liberia. Let me do that right.
So now the floor is yours. You can start to share.
The movie is not coming up.
Yeah, we can now see your screen.
Yeah, you share your screen.
Yeah, we can see the screen now.
Okay, please. Yeah, okay. Then share the file.
Yeah,
Good.
we can hear.
Madam Executive Director of UN Women, Madam Chair Lady of the UN Commission on the Status of Women, honorable members of this annual session, Queen Mothers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. United Nations Resolution 1325 calls for women everywhere to take a more active role in matters related to peace. It needs to be understood that moving in the direction of a culture of peace will be critical to achieving the goals of mitigating climate change and many other issues being faced today. And the role of women in these matters cannot be ignored. In my country, Angie Elizabeth Brooks, a Liberian statesman and diplomat, became the only female African president of the United Nations General Assembly and the second woman from any nation to have headed a United Nations body. She led the path for which Liberian women now follow. We must continue to aggressively pursue an equal voice in our governments, families, and cultures. I'm extremely delighted for this invitation to participate in the 66th section of the Commission on the Status of Women. The election of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf as President of Liberia is a proud illustration of the empowerment of women. And Liberia currently has a female vice president, and women continue to have a significant number of representations in other areas of government and society. Most women in West Africa are suffering with fibroids, and they do not have the income to get the proper medical treatment they require. We therefore raise concerns for better healthcare facilities to answer to the needs of women and girls and dedicated funding for women's health conditions. In the AU Aspiration Number 4 of Agenda 2063, A Peaceful and Secure Africa says, a culture of peace and tolerance shall be nurtured in Africa's children and youth through peace education. Women will play key roles in defining and developing curricular topics and generally accelerate the timeline for delivering peace education to Africa. I am a dedicated member of Project Peace Life, an international NGO, which is how I came to know of CSW. Most of us have female adult or mentors that inspires us. In my case, I have drawn so much inspiration from my mentor, Queen Mother, Dr. Dolores Blakely. Our ongoing challenges is to empower ourselves to be like our adults and mentors, even in places like Liberia, where we live on less than $1 a day. As we participate in this 66th section of the Commission on the Status of Women, let us therefore recommit ourselves to giving women and girls equal access to the rights and privileges they deserve. I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Peter. I think we have our Queen Mother here. So it's very delighted to have Queen Mother here. Queen Mother, could you speak for our audience?
Oh, sorry. The Queen Mother, she now is UN, in the UN headquarters, have another meeting. So we can have a...
No, Dr. Lee, I saw Queen Mother is now online.
It's online.
Queen Mother, yes, Queen Mother is here.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, but I want the young people to speak in Queen Mother's place. Another young man that is involved, his name is Tati Impela. He's on. I'd like for him to speak for 2 minutes. Thank you. Unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Queen Mother, for this great opportunity you have provided to me to be among all the ambassadors of the world. So today on the NGO CSW66 for the climate change and environment, on the issue that the women are facing on the racism. So today I'm very pleased. First of all, for you, Queen Mother, as I was not aware of the conference, and then you just called me. I said, what not to come give my input, my participation to discuss about the world, to see what we can do, because we see today what the challenge the women are facing in the 21st century. So what we are planning to do climate change, especially in energy issues. So me, as young representative of a new feature here in Europe, we have been hosting different meetings, and this Saturday we have got a big meeting in our our community here, where we're gonna discuss about on the issue about the woman, the right of women. So today, because I have only 2 minutes, so I want just to say thank you for this great opportunity, and thank you, Queen Mother, again, and thank you, everyone. So I hope we do have much time to explore what's going on in Africa and what's going on here in Europe. So we have a lot to say because of the time, but I would like sincerely to say many thank you to Queen Mother to put me in this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. And Queen Mother have 1 minute that I would like to say to all. I have a quote I want to leave with everyone today, as I already shared with women of the world. And the quote is, "The power of a woman is to empower other women in the world." Again, the power of a woman is to empower other women in the world. And I had the opportunity to be with my Vice President, Kamala Harris, and Selma, Alabama, of the movement of civil rights in the United States of America and Bloody Sunday, and grabbing her hand on the bridge and hearing her message to the world on Women's Month. And out of that, the reflection is the power of a woman is to empower other women. I thank you. Coming from the United Nations headquarters in New York City, CSW66. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Kumada. It's a very good speech and inspiring us for our future work to support women in the future. And thank you to have you with us. Now you can have your time now. Yeah, thank you. We'll see you later in our other events. So now may I please to have our first technical speech from, let me check it because we have the videos already. Because considering the time zone of our speakers, some are in the Asian countries, some are in European. So let's these Asian speakers to speak first. Firstly, let's have this Prof. Dipti Srinivasan, and she is. Let me firstly share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Hope you can see the screen now from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, before the technical presentation, let me briefly introduce Prof. Dipti. She's a professor in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at the National University of Singapore. And she is a fellow of IEEE, and she's volunteering for many activities for IEEE. She is also awarded many awards from IEEE. Now she is also editors for some IEEE transaction journal papers. And today she will give us a presentation on this demand-side response, demand-side management, and untapped potential for enabling CO2 reduction and the tackling the climate change. So firstly, I will play this video. Wait a moment. Okay. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to first thank the organizers for inviting me to this very prestigious forum. I would like to talk a bit about demand-side management and its untapped potential for enabling carbon dioxide reduction and tackling climate change. So over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to discuss some of the technologies that are related to this, as well as some case studies. So demand-side management is the process of balancing the supply of electricity on the network with the electrical load by adjusting or controlling the load. That means on the consumer side of things, we are making changes rather than changing the power station output. What it actually does, in essence, is that it shifts the load. In some ways, it changes the shape of the load. Now, in a typical power system, consumers are not aware of how the electricity is typically produced. Whenever they want electricity, they just turn the switch on. And the power supplier has to actually make sure that that demand is met in real time. What happens in this particular paradigm that we're going to now talk about is that we are able to change things on the consumer side at will. That means the entire paradigm is shifted. Rather than the generation following the load demand, is now happening the other way around. There are many possible options that have been proposed for changing things on the demand or the consumer side. And some of these are summarized in this figure on the right. You can divide the options into load leveling, load control, as well as tariff-based programs. Some programs focus on clipping the top of the load curve. So in these kind of figures, on the x-axis, we have the hour of the day. On the y-axis, we have the load demand. Now here, the curve shows how the load demand varies over a 24-hour period. What we're talking about in load leveling kind of programs is to reduce the peak so that this does not occur at all. Or it could even involve something like valley filling, which means during the periods of load demand, we are somehow managing to increase the demand at will. That means using some kind of program or control signal so that the load curve shifts upwards. Or it could just be a load shifting. That means in either direction, you can shift the load. There are also other programs such as flexible load shape, where we can build any shape of this red curve that we desire. Now this, as we will see in a few minutes, will become extremely important when we want to incorporate a lot of renewable generation, such as generation coming from solar or wind energy systems. Now, of course, the best approach would be to conserve energy, and energy efficiency programs allow us to do that. So what I'm proposing is that demand-side management holds a lot of promise in terms of its ability to reduce carbon dioxide emissions by improving the energy efficiency as well as optimizing the resources that we have. And it has a lot of untapped potential, even though the concept has been around for a long time. Only when smart grid is being implemented, we now have the technology to actually go forward with this. Now, not only the demand side management has a lot of potential to reduce CO2 emissions as well as help the environment, but it also has a lot of benefits for the electricity grid. It can provide a lot of grid services, such as responses in cases of contingencies, which means some kind of fault or unusual event. It also provides extra reserve capacity, and it also takes care of some of the minute-to-minute and second-to-second requirements in the system. Essentially, demand management offers a potentially low-cost approach to meet not only the capacity needs of our power systems, but also enhancing grid flexibility, while most importantly ensuring that carbon dioxide emissions are reduced. Now, we all know that there is a lot of push towards increasing the production of electricity from renewable sources such as solar photovoltaics and wind generation. However, there are some issues with this kind of intermittent renewable generation. You cannot predict when the sun will be shining, and we cannot predict when the wind will be blowing. And thereby, what happens is that the generation is very unpredictable. So even though the companies, utilities, governments are pushing for more and more renewables, it is not very easy to incorporate them in our energy mix. And that can also be improved through demand side management. Now, you might ask, why and how is that possible? Again, what I mentioned earlier, that the typical power systems are designed such as generation follows the load demand. Whatever the consumers demand will be generated at that instant. Obviously, it's not possible to do that with intermittent renewable generation from solar and wind energy systems because we cannot control them. However, if we have demand side management implemented in the system, it is possible to provide a signal to all the consumers so that whenever there is excess generation from solar or wind resources, we should be able to increase the amount of load that has to be served. That means the load will follow generation. Again, that is possible only through this approach of demand-side management, where signals, some kind of signals are sent to the consumers so that they can adjust their loads. So there are many environmental benefits, and implementing demand-side management can reduce carbon dioxide emissions by leveraging the technology so that we can minimize the use of costly generations, which are typically running on coal, oil, or gas, and replace them with renewable generation techniques. It is also possible to facilitate increased energy efficiency by educating the customers as well as incentivizing them through different pricing options and providing interesting programs. And the more important part is that we will be able to mitigate the intermittency of renewable generation sources by leveraging on approaches that are based or that are founded in demand-side management programs. Another interesting development that's happening around the world is the increased use of electric vehicles. Again, demand-side management will be a key enabler in making optimized use of the charging and discharging of electric vehicles. So it has many benefits. One of the projects that we are working on in NUS uses AI-based approach for data analytics-driven DSM solution. We have tested our approach, which is using machine-based forecasting, advanced analytics methods, as well as customer education to see how we can influence the usage pattern and change the demand for commercial, industrial, and residential customers. So we have real-time control and optimization, and an AI-based optimization algorithm provides the solutions to the customers, which are then implemented by the controller. What we found is that not only this kind of an approach helps to reduce the costs, both for the consumer as well as for the power industry, but it also helps with CO2 reduction in a huge amount. Another case study, now this one is from Thailand, where several commercial buildings were actually taken in this particular study to see how their consumption could be changed. Now this was a set of buildings that was already in existence, and the case study involved considering some kind of retrofitting projects. It was interesting to note that in all kinds of buildings, whether they were shopping malls, hotels, retail, or commercial offices, there was substantial energy reduction when demand-side management was implemented. Not only that, it was also found that the payback period was quite fast. That means it helped the customers within 4 to 5 years, they were able to recuperate the investment they had put in. Now, these findings are in line with research in China, where 67 energy efficiency projects actually were investigated over a certain period, and it was found that the payback period was 4 years. So it is a very, very attractive solution that saves cost as well as helps the environment. Another case study from Australia showed that when the temperatures exceed 40 degrees in Australia, the energy consumption suddenly shoots up. Now, it was found that in order to provide electricity supply for a very small number of hours in the year, in fact, in this particular study, it was only for about 20 to 40 hours in the whole year. The utility had to install a 550 megawatt plant at the cost of $640 million in 2012. Obviously, it happened only for a very brief while, only in the summer months. And only for this small number of hours, it was used, so the cost was very high. But when the utility implemented demand-side management, they were able to see that this kind of investment can be successfully deferred. So it's also benefiting the utility. Another study from the US showed that there is a lot of untapped potential of demand-side management, and there was a baseline data from 2010. And they projected that if the utilities continued business as usual all the way up to year 2025, how would the electricity consumption, demand reduction, CO2 emissions, as well as costs will change. Then they also looked at the enhancement when smart grid functionality, especially demand side management, was implemented. And they found that electricity consumption, which was supposed to be 5,800 VA, if the business was as usual in billions of kilowatt hours, could be reduced substantially. So the reduction was 15%. The peak demand of electricity generation could be reduced to 25%. That means there was a 66% increase compared to business as usual. And in terms of the emissions, it was possible to see substantial reduction as well. In addition to all of these, it was also possible to see that through these approaches, the power companies were able to reduce the outages and disturbances, which become very costly. So there was a very huge reduction of 90% in terms of the security and reliability of power supply. Now, this also helps to reduce the infrastructure investment, so there are additional cost savings as well. In general, I would like to conclude by saying that demand-side management programs optimize the energy value chain, and they provide significant benefits, environmental, system reliability, as well as economic benefits. From economic perspective, a smart grid with demand-side management options can reduce the overall energy consumption by changing the pattern of load consumption, as well as improving energy efficiency. From the environmental standpoint, there is substantial scope for reducing carbon emissions by facilitating the replacement of traditional fossil fuel-based plants with renewable sources of generation and maximizing the demand response and minimizing use of peak generation. And from power system perspective, there's a lot of promise of improved efficiency, enhanced reliability, as well as security of the system. With this, I would like to end, and I would like to thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much from the speech from Prof. Dipti. And we know Prof. Dipti recently is not feeling well, but still give our very strong support for this event. And it's already very late in Singapore. So Prof. Dipti, if you want to speak something, you can speak now, because we may leave the questions Q&A session for later. Do you want to say something?
I just want to thank everyone for being here and for listening to the presentations. It's a great honor to be invited to this prestigious forum. And I would like to really thank you all and wish you all the best. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Dipti. So considering the time, let's have a go on. So the next speaker will be, let me share the screen. So our next speaker will be Li Wenfeng. So Li Wenfeng is the director of China 5E Research Center from 2012 to 2020, a member of the Council for China Energy Research Society, and deputy director of Carbon Neutral Industry Corporate Center. She has contributed to many major research projects in China and around the world, also from World Bank. So Li Wenfeng, if you are ready, the floor is yours. You can start to share your screen.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's really honored to be invited to join the group, and especially like to extend my thanks for Ruomei Li to invite me to join for this to give a speech. And I've already had a radio provided, so I can just present here. Okay. How to share it?
Sorry. So there was like a 1, 2, 3 topics I like to present. So that's why, because the time's already short. So just compact in one video, see if it's okay. Then
if it's still
yeah, it's okay because it's you know, I'm using other people's computer, so that has to be okay. Hello, this is Li Wenfeng, Urban Action. Okay, thank you very much for the host of this conference to give me the chance to representing my team, which we have done a lot of things, a lot of efforts for promote low carbon actions. Okay, talk about China commitment. Since September 2020, President Xi has announced China's commitment on carbon neutral, which is China's promised by year 2030. China will.
Sorry to interrupt. Is anyone see the screen is frozen? It's not reacting here.
China
we can see the picture, but it's not.
No, is it frozen? We can't see. Is it frozen?
It's frozen. Yes, it's stopping. Yes. It's not working properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may reshare it again.
I think maybe this is a recording, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a recording.
So it's a video.
Yeah, it's a video.
Yeah, but here we cannot see it. We can hear the sound, but it's not moving. It's frozen.
Maybe the screen will be changed later on as the time is supposed to be.
Okay, so you cannot see anything, or just you can hear the speech, but can
only the sound, your voice, but not from the screen.
Okay, yeah. So let's just talk about it since I only have 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
没法哈， so 咱们能看哈，咱们看着说，就把声音 block 的，然后你把声音 block， 然后就
OK，
不能 block。
对 ，Let me try again.
Sure.
那我就不要那个，我就说呗。Hello. This is
now it's working
from China, Beijing, representing China 5E. Let's talk about women's leadership in low carbon action. Okay, thank you very much for the host of this conference to give me the chance to representing my team. Which we have done a lot of things, a lot of efforts for promote low carbon actions. Okay, talk about China commitment. Since September 2020, President Xi has announced China's commitment on carbon neutral, which is China's promised by year 2030, China will reach the peak of carbon. By year 2030, China will carbon peak. By year 2060, China will achieve carbon neutral. So, which is a response, the Paris, based on this target, after President Xi's announcement, China, particularly in the energy industry, has responded very fast. Then talking about the future carbon categories in China, so we have done a lot of research. We have put in these diagrams, which you can see here, is we separate this three divisions. One is the energy producer, and the second is the energy consumer. And also we have new parts coming in, the carbon management. So these three things are now acting together, which is under the Chinese government's instruction, and which actually get a very good response from industry and the consumer as well. So for our study, actually, we're concentrated on an energy information service. So we have this to show what is the present situation in China in the industry. So it's for a long time, the traditional energy sector is, particularly in the information sectors, you can see that's a lot of, we call the wells. So each industry, actually the information flows within the well. For example, oil gas industry. Within the industry, design, construction, the manufacture, include the equipment, the whole thing within the one company. So the information well becomes tighten and tighten. But now the carbon neutral, which require all the industry, the oil industry has to be reformed to open to the renewable clean energy for sustainable development. So in the future, there will be completely different industrial forms. Let's talk about the goal of a carbon neutral is promoting the transformation of the traditional fossil fuel energy to the renewable energy, which is including cross-border innovation among the different industry models. The energy transformation from centralized to the decentralized, therefore building a platform to provide assistance to the product, technology, and the service information. There will be a lot of cross-border innovations among the different industry. Energy transformation from centralized to decentralized becomes a trend of the development. Therefore, building a mutual knowledge sharing platform becomes very important. Okay, what ACT is? We decide to make a full use of a digital internet and 5G communication technology to build an information service platform for industry experts, decision makers of enterprises to be able to fully use a cross-border transformation between the technology and the service, establish project matching, mechanism matching, and reduce the cost, improve the efficiency, and promoting company to achieve carbon neutral goal, and promote sustainable development for the industry. That's what ACT is. Because why us? Since China family has 20 years cumulative influence in the energy industry in China, expert contacts, and also operate a well-known internet platform such as China Energy Net and the China Link APP, as well as the organized conference such as Future Energy and the International Distributed Energy Conference. So we had very rich experience. So service platform introduction we talk about the industry chain digital service platform. That's what we're doing. The 3D, we'll try to use the current internet and the digital technology to build this platform for all the users to exchange their concept and their knowledge. So they have a lot of opportunity to talk to each other and find each other on the web. And also set up the meeting and also seeking for the help from our Energy Link expert network. So what we're going to do is like we're going to set up most advanced digital information platform, plus what we have, all the medium and information resource now put together to construct platform, which called the industry chain DIES platform. So that's what we do. And hopefully by the end of the year, we will be online. We're open to everybody, not just domestically, as well as internationally. And I hope everybody will join us to share your experience and your opinion, idea, and your innovation, and also your achievement. Okay. Following, I'd like to talk about since last year, through our effort, we have already established a carbon neutral industry cooperation center for China Energy Research Society. So let me give a brief introduction of the society. The center aims to promote the implementation of the natural double carbon strategy, which is, I have already said that by year 2030, we're going to reach the carbon peak, and meanwhile by 2060, we'll achieve the carbon neutral. So in China, we call double carbon. Take promoting extensively in depth the cooperation in carbon neutral industry as its own responsibility, and in line with the concept of jointly creating market share, resource, and common development. It has extensive contact and close cooperation with relevant government agents, enterprises and institutions, academic groups, and international organizations. Actively promote industry cooperations, policy research, routing discussions, startup formations, and exchange active as directed. Surround unit and we are the subordinate unit and the nonprofit organization of a China Energy Research Society. The center will serve for guardians of assistance from relevant national ministry and communications such national development and reform commissions, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, and also the Ministry of Science and Technology Center, will rely on the advanced resource and the professional strengths of member units, industry experts, and the consulting teams to carry on. Actually, the center secretary office is actually in China 5E Beijing office. We actually welcome to visit our website, as well as possible to come to China to meet with us. The last thing is I talk about the Future Energy Conference. By 2021, July, we have successfully to hold the third Future Energy Convention in Beijing, which we have achieved we have achieved our goal and obtained great attention from the public. But now by this year, 2020, we are planning to hold the conference by July, later July. Hopefully, it won't be interfered by COVID. But anyway, we are working very intensively to prepare to make this conference to be open to the international society. By last year, we actually had very honored to have a China National Energy Society become one of our partners to host the conference. So now becomes well known in China, in particular in the China energy industry. So for the end, we'll extend our invitation for everybody who's interested about the future energy of China, and also China's effort on decarbonization and carbon neutral. So we're all welcome to join us. And of course, now if you can come over, that would be most welcome. Otherwise, we'll hold the conference online openly. Please contact us through the email. We'll send you all the information you needed. Thank you very much. Hello, this is Li Wenfeng.
Okay, thank you very much, Li Wen. If you want to speak something, you can speak now because it's already late in China. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so just a few words. And so I was really, okay, it's a very good opportunity to meet with everybody here. And I will extend my many thanks for Ruomei Li. So hopefully everybody can come to our conference for the future energy. And also we're also working with Ruomei. We're trying to set up the online meeting. And if the time is okay, so I'm the organizer for the conference. So I would truly welcome everybody to join us.
Okay, thank you very much, Li Wen. Yes, we learn a lot from your presentation and your future work for this high-level development plan of Chinese strategic energy strategy. Okay, thank you. So now let's move our perspective from Asian countries, Singapore and China, to European countries to have our third speaker, Prof. Linda. So before her presentation, let me briefly introduce Dr. Linda. She's a professor in the power grid technology at KTH, the Royal Institute of Technology, Sweden. She's the director of the KTH Energy Platform. In the last year, she was awarded this Power Women of the Year by the Power Women Association in Sweden. She's a distinguished lecturer of HBPS, and she is also a member of HBPS SGT European Steering Committee. And she is also very active in IEEE and serving for these women, and also have many experience in this energy society. So her presentation will be tackling climate change, women's leadership in low carbon action. So now let me share her video. Which one? Wait a moment. Should be in this page. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Lina Bertling Tjernberg. I'm a professor in power grid technology in KTH in Stockholm, Sweden. And I'm very happy to take part in this event today, arranged at the NGO CSW Forum 66, and in collaboration with IEEE Power and Energy Society and the Women in Power. I have prepared a presentation for you that I will share. So the topic for our speech, our session, is on the tackling how it can tackle the climate change. And I will give some examples of women leadership, and the target will be low carbon actions. You have here my contacts, my email, my webpage, and also social media if you would like to reach me afterwards. I'd like to start and bring with you my warm greetings from Stockholm in Sweden. And the pictures here are giving examples on activities that we have been formed within the IEEE in a power energy society. And I believe that in the meetings we can share experience and we can all contribute to a better world. This is a little bit more about myself, and you can read afterwards and also contact me. So the summary of my talk and my key messages for today is that unfortunately, we need to put the perspective of surrounding and what is happening in the world, and which is very much related to the war in Ukraine. I will comment on the Sustainable Development Goals. Then I will give a focus on power grid technology developments, which is my key research area, and also give an example on the solutions that we work with. And then I'm bringing up two different examples on how we work in leadership in this field. One is from a university where I'm currently leading what we said KTH Energy Platform, which is a forum for all researchers active in energy. And the second example is from a Swedish association that's called Kraftkvinnor that are promoting women working in the power and energy sector. Unfortunately, we must accept or realize that around us now, it is actually a war. On February 24, Russia was invaded Ukraine. Europe has acted very fast on this, and Sweden is part of the European Union. This have a lot of impact on people suffering now. It also have impact on economics, and it will have an impact on our energy system. And our thoughts are with all people struggling, and we are all wanting to contribute to a fast stop and recovery. In Europe, we were celebrating a very unique activity yesterday. On the 16th of March, our power grid system was synchronized with the Ukraine system. And this means that we can contribute to the stability in the power supply in Ukraine. And this feels as an amazing accomplishment. And many people have worked very hard to make this happen. This has been a plan, a long-term plan between the TSOs in Europe, but now it has happened much faster with a lot of efforts. So we are very, very happy that this could happen. And if you would like to have more information, details of this, I included a link in my presentation. We have in the world agreed, trying to proceed to fulfill the Sustainable Development Goals. This has had an impact. One of the impacts so far is that we have done a lot of fantastic investment in new electricity power from wind and solar. And this has impacted on our system. And this figure is giving a very short description of what has happened and how can we solve this in future. And what I've tried to communicate here is a circular perspective of the power grid as part of the energy system. And the key here that is new for us is that we're working in a circular perspective. So we will reuse material and we will think about the conversion of energy in a most efficient way. And related to the power grid, we see three different topics we will work with. One is that we are having an intelligent, adaptable grid. We have a lot of new features, and this is related very much to software, and we can create new values for utilities and customers. Another topic is that we can provide a flexible grid infrastructure to be ready for the decarbonization trend. And this involves, for example, introduction of electrical vehicles, that we have batteries, and we create more flexibility with small-scale local generation of electricity. The third topic I'm stressing here is related to the equipment. We will continuously have improved power devices and materials. And at the end, we want to have a circular economics around it. I have included two examples just to give a flavor of what we're doing in research. And this is related to research that I have been done on wind power, and specifically I've been focusing on offshore and on the operation and maintenance cost, because that's the crucial thing, trying to reduce in order to make this transformation of the energy system. And what we are doing here is to use smart models to predict the need for maintenance using artificial neural networks. And here I also have a reference to a paper if you would like to read more. Another example is a very recent publication, which is also something that's really happening now. And this is related to small scale electricity generation together with battery storage. And we have so far done 3 cases that we have published around. One is an ice rink, one is a small kindergarten, and also on a business shop store. And all of these have installed solar, local solar, and a battery storage. And what we are showing with our models is that you can use this investment to help with the local peak shaving and frequency reserve market. And we also show that this is beneficial to do this, which is a very big step forward. I want to make a comment here that the same type of technology we see we can use in other countries. In Africa, for example, we have one project in Ethiopia where we obviously have a lot more solar energy resources than in Sweden. So we see that this technology can be used everywhere in the world. Now I will change and give an examples on one of the initiatives that I'm working with at my university. It's called the KTH Energy Platform, and this is an inclusive platform for discussion, dialogues, new initiatives, and exchange of knowledge. And everyone are invited with the interest of energy research. And I'm just showing pictures here from some different type of activities. Almedalen is an annual event where we go and meet politicians. So this is at a very high level where we're trying to communicate and help with our research to do good decisions for the energy system. The other picture is from a poster exhibition. We normally has an annual event where we researchers can present their posters. And then within the team I work with, we do visits within different research labs. And this is one lab where we visited last year, where they're doing tests. And this is an acoustic isolated area. And we are doing specific seminars with dialogues. And we are around 400 people in our community. And then we also include our network. And here is a web page where you can find more information. Typical activities, I mentioned a few, and here are some of the seminars we arranged last year, where we were specifically trying to give input to work with the national electrification strategy. And we also made a specific discussion about nuclear power and combination of nuclear and wind power, which has been very much debated in my country. And then I was mentioning that we have this annual event where we invite all our network, and we are having very interesting discussions and close with the Best Poster Session Award. My last example I want to share with you today is from a Swedish association, which is called Kraftkvinnor, which means power woman. And the aim of this organization is to raise the profile and promote talented women in the energy sector, and also to make a proof that we are existing. It's not only a shortage of women existing. So the network aims to increase the proportion of women at management levels and boards in the energy sector. And it's an award every year handed out, trying to put the focus on this topic. And I was a very, very happy receiver of this award from last year. And you can see here the event, and this is the energy minister in our country handing out the award, and this is the general director of the energy research in Sweden. And I was very, very happy to receive this award. And in an interview, I got the question, so why should anyone work in the energy sector? And my answer is very clear. I think it's nothing more inspiring to do this, and we need every talent we need to our sector. So with that, I would like to close my presentation for today, and I'm very happy to take questions now or when you will send me your contacts afterwards. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. The speech from Prof. Linda. Prof. Linda, if you want to say something now.
Hello, everyone. The day after. So I'm just want to say hello. I'm very honored to be meeting with you all today, and I really enjoyed listening to all the speeches. And I'm here if anyone would like to ask me any questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's have our next speaker.
I would also like to say hello to the group. My name is Esther Ejim. I was invited by Queen Mother. So I am here listening to what is being said, and I've learned quite a lot. So hello, everyone, and thank you.
Okay, hello, welcome. Yeah, let me screen. So our next speaker will be Dr. Guadalupe and Gonzalez. She is the Director of Electricity at the National Secretariat of Energy, where she oversees the development of energy policy for Panama. She is also a professor at the Department of Electrical Engineering of the Technological University of Panama, where she is also the director of the ARSTS research program. She's a senior member and has volunteered in different positions within HV, and also have this support for and contribution for the WIP. And today, her presentation will be the role of women in energy transition. Now, let me share her video.
Hello, my name is Guadalupe Gonzalez, and I'm the Director of Electricity of the National Energy Secretariat of Panama. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers of the NGO CSW Forum for inviting me to talk about the role of women in the energy transition. I would like to take this opportunity to talk to you based on my experience from the energy policy side and share with you how we are including or involving the Nexus Women and Energy into our energy transition. First of all, we started to work on an energy transition in 2019, and basically we are following the Sustainable Development Goals, specifically seeking to transform our energy sector into one that is affordable, sustainable, reliable, secure, and accessible, following the 4 Ds of the energy transition. And this is using digitalization, decentralization, democratization, and decarbonization in order to achieve the energy transition. We have been working in developing energy strategies for our sectors, 5 for the electric side and 2 for the hydrocarbon sector. And also we are developing one that is regarding the institutional strengthening of the energy institutions in Panama. This is required in order to achieve the goals that we are setting ourselves in our strategies. I apologize that the slides are in Spanish, but what it says is that the 5 energy transitions strategies of the electric sectors involve universal access, energy efficiency, electromobility, distributed generation, and innovation of our power sector, whilst the strategy of the hydrocarbon sector includes Panama as an energy hub, and also the modernization of our regulatory framework. Last, the energy transition for the institutional strengthening, as I said before, is important to achieve all this strategy. Furthermore, we are working on 3 roadmaps that we believe are important in order to achieve the goals that we are setting ourselves in our energy transition agenda. And this is communication, because it's important that the society knows about the changes that they will be experiencing in the next years. Also, it's important to educate not only the kids, but also the youngsters and the entire society, because these are new technologies that will be impacting their lives. And also, it is important to do an energy strategy that is inclusive and just. And here is where the roadmap for women and energy stands out. Also, we have been doing several studies to see by numbers how the energy transition will impact Panama in the next years. We developed these studies because we were concerned on how the pandemic would affect the energy transition that we have set to our country, but we have reached in the conclusion that actually is for the best. We are seeing numbers that where we can see that we will have more job creation, that will have a higher GDP for Panama, that will help us increase savings in our for our country to create greater energy-related emissions reductions in the side of the environmental aspects. And in general, we are seeing positive numbers whilst the energy transition is taking place. However, internationally, the gender perspective is still something that we need to work together. And here I'm just sharing with you a report that IRENA published in 2019 in terms of gender perspective. And this basically has been kept during these years. And we see similar numbers in Panama. And this is basically that around 32% of the share of women that work in the renewable energy workforce are just this number, around 30%. And around 20% are the share of women that works in the oil and gas industry. Basically, they present in this study the barriers that women still have based on the perceptions of the gender roles, based on the lack of career information and networks. The women participation in STEM fields have still misconceptions on the career pathways. Also, we have barriers to retain and career advancement. We have the glass ceiling. We have lack of supportive environment, wage inequities, and also we see barriers to participation based on cultural and social norms, lack of gender sensitive and programs and policies, and lack of skills and gender specific opportunities for women. After we read this report from IRENA, we started doing gathering some information about the Panama situation on gender, and the numbers, as I said before, were very similar. About 30% of our population is in the energy sector. So we decided to develop this roadmap of women and energy with the support of the United Nations Development Program. And basically what we are seeking is to include in every aspect of our energy transition actions that impact how the women will be perceived and how she will be a part of our energy transition agenda. So our general goal is to have those 141,000 new jobs that are projected from our economic study to be in Panama in 2050. We would like it to be distributed in parity. Our second goal is to achieve that the 100% of the adult population has access to information on the use and opportunities of sustainable energy and the technologies with a gender perspective. Our general objective is to facilitate the active participation and empowerment of women under equal conditions in favor of the energy transition agenda. As you can see, we are looking to have an inclusive energy transition for the next 10 years. Actually, a study from the Inter-American Development Bank recently said that only 2 countries in Latin America have policies for energy and women, and actually Panama is one of them. Our roadmap of the strategic pillars that we are presenting in this document are 10, and they basically are seeking the education, training, capacity building, also to develop opportunities and professional performances. We are also looking into the recruitment and hiring processes. We will be looking on the quality and the remuneration, also on the prevention on harassment in the work environment. We will be working on enabling a balance of family, work, and social life, the cultural and social norms, access to energy services, dissemination and appropriation of technologies, and some pilot projects. It is important to point out that these strategies were developed with the help of the society, not only professional women, but also women that will use the energy transition. And here I just want to share you with some photos of this process. So we are taking action right away. We are doing capacity building. We are involving the women into our policy making process. We are gathering information. We are building alliances with the public, private, and academia so that we can actually, find solutions and tackle the situation of the women in the energy transition. We have been also talking with members of companies, with leaders, with women leaders that are part of our energy sector, so that they can share their experiences on how their companies have been receiving a positive experience based on the equity and diversity in their companies. And all of them pretty much started with energy policy. And this is why we believe to have a national energy policy will help a lot to actually find a just and inclusive energy transition for the next 10 years. I hope this presentation, this brief presentation can be of help to you. And you can find our roadmap in our webpage. I'm sharing with you this information, and all the energy transition strategies that we are developing for Panama are also available to you in Spanish and in English. So if you would like to know more about what we are doing in Panama, please feel free to contact me. And I hope you I hope that this talk has been of service to you. Thanks for the invitation, and have a good rest of the sessions.
Okay, many thanks from the Dr. Guadalupe. If you want to say something now.
Thank you very much. Just to thank the organizing committee for inviting me, and I will be available for any questions that you have regarding this this presentation.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much. So let's move to another speaker from our view from Central America to South Africa. So the last speaker is Kayazak Dioka. She is a corporate specialist for transformers and reactors at Eskom. She is a registered professional engineer with the Engineering Council of South Africa. She's actively involved in Seagree Engineering Body, and she's the international chair for Seagree Ruomei Engineering. Actually, now it's called Ruomei Energy. She also serves as the executive board member on Seagree Southern Africa board, responsible for Ruomei Engineering and the Young Engineers portfolio. In 2017, she was a runner-up for ESCOM Women in Technology and Engineering Award. In September last year, she was awarded the first runner-up award for ESCOM Women of the Year. And she is going to give the presentation about tackling climate change in my area of expertise. Now let me play her video.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from around the world. My name is Kayakazi Dioka, and I work for ESCOM. Today I'll talk about tackling climate change in my area of expertise. In my presentation, I will cover the following. I will cover ESCOM's background, which will be followed by ESCOM's project, which is called Just Energy Transition, which is a movement towards low carbon emissions. I will then link this to my area of expertise, which is on transformer technologies, and I'll talk about what technologies we have in order to support low carbon emissions, and we specify and design transformers. I will then take questions from there. ESCOM is a state-owned utility with 30 power stations and the total nominal capacity of 45,000 megawatts. This comes from a combination of coal-fired stations, nuclear power plant, pumped storages, hydro stations, your open cycle gas turbines, as well as a wind farm. The total transformer capacity is about 307,000 MVAs. In 2020, ESCOM established a Just Energy Transition Office, and the focus for this was for a net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Now, this Just Energy Transition project's objectives are to decrease carbon emissions with added environmental benefits, for ESCOM to supply reliable and clean electricity, for stimulating the economic development while protecting and increasing jobs in South Africa. So what can a transformer engineer do towards low carbon emission and the reliable and clean electricity supply? Well, there are certain opportunities for transformer engineers. As you specify transformers, you implement new technology which support the drive to low carbon emission. Some examples of these include your green oils, which we have specified for most of our transformers, and they are acceptable even now for the bigger transformers. We also specify oil-free technologies on transformer components. So you now have, like for instance, your dry bushings or your vacuum tap changers. Also, with the renewable energy integration, this is an opportunity for transformer engineers to now look at a different application for transformers. And we've had to write a different specification now for these transformers because their application is different from the standard network transformers. Also, with the drive towards a substation visualization, then for power transformers, we have what we call integrated condition monitoring system. This will enable engineers to be able to see the transformers, reduce the time that the transformer is out of service, while you are ensuring that there's less people that are actually driving to the substation in order to attend to any incident, or even shorten the time that the incident takes place. And so with this, for now, this is the contribution, which is through the specifications that we compile as transformer engineers, the choice of technologies that we put in there, which is the drive towards your low carbon emission. Thank you.
Yes, her presentation is very short. So we have all our speakers and we have plenty of time for this open discussion and the Q&A session. You can see that all the researchers around the world are making efforts to make this energy transition smoothly and successfully. So you are, okay, I see someone. Yes, please. Evan, you hands up.
Yes, yes. My name is Irwan Rusli. I'm from United States. The question I have is that for the rural area, the poor area, where many of these population maybe not very crowded, how is the use of system management of this power distribution, especially in terms of battery system? Because it is my understanding is that battery system is still a challenging situation, so that one can distribute it all over, including the rural and the poor area. So I would like to kind of comment from anyone who would like to address the poor rural area for electricity, or maybe some stored energy that can be supplied to that area. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So our speakers, anyone want to contribute to answering this question? The energy use in rural area.
And so, okay, yeah, and thanks for the questions. You know, yeah, that for the renewable energy, for the clean energy, because of this not so steady, we need the energy storage. And now the mostly used is a chemical, electric chemical storage. It is comparatively cheaper, but if for the integrated one, that would be the security problems. For the rural to village, and in China, yeah, we have lots of places we use PV with solar, right? And also get connected with a power grid, but still not steady. And I think in the future, you know, the energy storage improve the technology, and cheaper the price for the energy storage is very important. Yeah, we welcome, you know, everyone to share the experience, the practice, and the research achievement. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And also I may contribute a little bit. For example, in China, in some of the far rural area, they are now building this solar PV and energy storage system to support the power supply of these houses at the rural area, and also to build this integrated energy system coordinating with this natural gas and also the gas produced by these chemical materials and the wastage. So that is some of the power supply company are doing this one in China, in the far rural area. Yeah, because that is a kind of microgrid and also coordinate with the integrated energy system for the gas utilization. Okay, we have another audience. Hands up, please. Juliet, you may introduce yourself and ask questions. Thank you.
All right. Yes, hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juliet Miabo. I'm based in South Africa. I do work in community and townships, yes, all over South Africa. I work mainly in marginalized communities, working with women, the elderly, youth, and children. And we also involve men who are willing to be part of the solution. Firstly, I'd like to thank the opportunity to be part of this. I was specifically invited by Prophet Anyanwu, who said I must actually pass her apologies that she could not join in. She had work and she had to do some work and counsel with some women. So please, I'd like to extend her apologies. And I do work some psychosocial and health work other than the community work that I do with the and we work mainly with communities that, as speaker from South Africa would know, that do not have reliable source of electricity. And that is a different discussion. But what I want to raise now is that the communities that we work in are mainly volatile, and it's communities where people live in shacks or they live in type of housings where if a fire is caught in one shack, it then burns possibly 100 or 500 other shacks around it. And normally this happens in winter where people would burn fires in a tin and then or in a container, then bring them into a shack. And then in the middle of the night, it will catch fire, and most of the time the children will be left alone or the women and will be stuck there. So specifically looking at situations like those, and our speaker from South Africa will know of cases in Alexandra, in a lot of areas, in all the shack areas where there have been fires. Because the whole issue of climate change and the extreme cold, the extremeness of the environment and the weather means that people end up being safe. And those vulnerable people become children and women. Because what happens when the disaster of a fire, then women and children become displaced, and then they're exposed to other crimes such as rape and molestation while they're sleeping outside. So I just want to know, what type of interventions can we have for communities like those informal settlements that would actually be environmental friendly, yet be able to be sustainable and also keep people safe? It's a few questions, but it's all about safety of women and children in very informal settlements. And this is specifically maybe for our speaker in South Africa, because from South Africa, because she'd be able to relate more to it, and anyone else. Thank you so much.
Good.
Yes, thank you, Julie, your question. But sorry for that, our speaker from South Africa, Dioka, cannot make it today. So she just sent me this video from her to us. And we also have some collaborations with some colleagues from South Africa, and heard about this information you have mentioned, because we also have colleagues working in this HVPS, IIP. We know the difficulty now in South Africa people are facing, especially during this extreme weather. Now is becoming more severe and more serious. I think for the researchers, most of us are working on this academic research. It's more about the theoretical analysis and to use these techniques to improve the life quality of our people. And but we are still working in this social level for contributing to promoting this, for example, the so-called EDI, equality, diversity, and inclusion. And in our academic area, we are also working on this to support people, to support the people from the underrepresented group, and especially women and the young professionals to create platform. For example, today we asked the experts to give this knowledge and experience to share to these wide areas of audience around the world to exchange our experience. Thank you.
Good.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And Li Gen,
yeah,
I think the time.
Yeah, it's already 1 hour and a half.
1 hour and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope. Okay.
Yeah, it's already 1 hour and a half. Maybe because it's very late already in China and Singapore, so the speakers has left, and the Prof. Lina left as well, need to pick up her children. Yeah, so our speakers left. Now I think we can open the floor for the audience. If anyone want to say anything, we can have a discussion, open discussion.
Yeah. And I can let you know, we'll record your speech, your address, your comments, and we'll make, make like the video, like something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the question, if not get answered, but please, you leave your email address, then we can give feedback later through the email, because the speakers have left now, okay?
Yeah. We receive a message from Fatih. You want to speak? I see you tap something here.
Yes, Fatih.
Fatih?
Yeah, I think he might leave now. Yeah, he's not in, right?
Yeah.
Sorry about. And
the presentations today from our speakers are more technical about this research in the power sector and the energy. So maybe next time we can have a broader topic for these women and the work for the society, for the well-being, enhancing the quality of human being. Yeah, but today is more technical for the power system, power energy.
Yeah. And just I give some comments, okay? Because it's I think the fourth time to join this NGO CSW parallel events. I also joined the event within the headquarters the previous years. At beginning, 5 years ago, when I joined that, I just think, why we need this parallel event? For what? Because people from different technical fields with different background, then, but after joining the first time, I think I achieved a lot, because we all focus on what our females, normally our educated female, what we can do for this society, what we can do for this world, even with different background. Our goal is the same, to realize the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, to make our future world better. Yes, but in the UN CSW, the activity normally is to increase the women's the position, right? To get more, to get the treatment to women is more fairly, and yes, to increasing the power of women in this world, the power of political, the power in the the right in the education, and the power, in also business, lots of it. Then I started this session from last year, mainly for, we talk about issues in the power and energy field, to talk how, we can do, the mainly participant is engineering in this field, and in the professional, how we can do, use our technology, use our talents to make the world better. And but for this session, today's session, I think maybe in the future, we will beside our technology, because in CSW, the parallel event, we should also talk about how to empower our women, especially these young people, how to empower them to increase their capability, to increase their influence, to increase their real power, their position, how to make it, not only, the technology. To my experience is sometimes I think it's not fair. Why in the large city and in the center of country and in the developed country, the women, they have more opportunity. Why not in the developing country? Why not in the, small city countryside, the female, no? They are very difficult. That is how we can provide more opportunities. That's why we need the organization, the non-government organization. And for this platform, if we provide, more opportunities, let the people, individual, to be famous, okay, to be known as other people, then she would get opportunity. I think from next year, and the CSW 66 would be held offline, in person. So I hope, we contact each other, okay, especially the Queen Mother team, and she can let you know how to go through procedures, get a pass to get to the UN activities, and to join this, NGO. Know the women leaders. Okay, that's one benefit, and the other benefit. For our speakers, all of our speakers, I think are leaders, yeah. So if you want to connect with them, you just send the email, or even you leave your message here, then we'll share, Yeah, you can get from the website, but you also can get help, from our moderator, Li Gen, and me as well. Okay, I hope you are in a participant each other, you can connect. You just write, you contact with the chat. Yeah, so this platform, not only, for the speech, but for the interconnection. Okay, thank you.
Yes, we see, sorry to interrupt, we see the hands up from Ivan. You can ask a question.
Yeah, I just would like to follow up with your mentioning about the PV, the use of photovoltaic in the rural area of China. Is that very economical at this point? Because the efficiency of the PV is still in the low range right now. And if it is economical, why can we transfer the technology to the Africa to use the PV and the solar panel over there, and then utilize the electricity locally in the rural area?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, from my point of view and the knowledge from our colleagues is that this is economic, because these devices and setup is just to be used in far rural area, which is the poverty is a problem, because the energy will be stored in the battery and they can use it. We also know some of the experts already contribute to this UN to use this technology in Africa. Some of the technology, from my point of view, some of the researchers in Chinese universities, they are doing well, doing this work.
Yeah, because some of the area needs some lighting, for example, for safety, and some of the energy for the individual houses for cooking and so on may be useful. So if you using the concept of optimization, a different type of concept, whether wind energy or PV energy, or maybe other energy, including maybe ocean energy. Maybe if we thinking about quickly transfer to this area and spread the technology, I think will be useful for.
Yeah, I think now the point is technology is not a big problem, I think, at this stage. The problem is that who will support for the money. Because for this application in China, the Chinese government compensates a lot, and the power supply company, for example, the state of grid or the Southern China power grid, they are now compensating parts of this cost for installing these devices there. Yeah, and then maybe if they want to import it from China to South Africa, but who will give the money? I think that's the point. We also need to reduce the cost and to make it more cheaper and to be more affordable. Yeah. And Tathy, I think you want to say something. Yeah, please.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm trying to find the option to lift up my hand. But
yeah, I can see that. Sorry.
I'm so sorry just to jump like this. You know what? Thank you, first of all, for everyone, for all the speakers, especially Missy Ruomei, a very inspiring speech. Because, you know, just a few months ago, I was in Africa, especially in the DRC Congo. And I left the capital, I went to inside the village just to see what, because I personally live in London, United Kingdom. And I went there to finance some of the project to support those women, children, young people from there. And as soon as we reached to a capital called Bikoro, you know, you will be surprised we are in the 21st century. But if as soon as we reached to that capital city called Bikoro, there was no reception. So you're not allowed to speak on the phone because there's no any connection, networking. And there's no electricity. There's nothing. But you can see there's a lot of opportunity where you can establish to bring the panel solar to support these people. But as you just say, the moderator just say, so it depends on the government. Some government at the moment, the crucial of the financial to support the citizen. But what my request is, next time if we come in the forum like this, let's bring the opportunity. Sometimes the lack of the resource or the lack of where you can, because at the moment is where to fund the project. If there is any project, you say, okay, look, this is the project. Money can come from how? You know, but if there is any project, sometimes it's a challenge for some people who don't have that technology basic just to fund the project itself. But next time when we set up this kind of conference, it's better to bring some resources, like where they can, if there's no funding, but just we know you can contact this company if you wanted, for example, the power or you want the panel solar. This kind of is really good. And again, something is we have to inspire ourselves because we are the contact point. We have to support each other. If we don't do that, our message won't be able to go over. Because look, today we having like this meeting, I believe we have all over the continent. We was there. So we have some people from Africa, or some from Asia, from America, from this. So each experiencing, we bring that here in the meeting, it will help us maybe to reach to the good conclusion and to have a network where we can contact each other. We can't just, it happened a lot. I have been to many different meetings, is that we finish conference and some people come with the good idea. You will realize that, oh, I was in one conference, it was the last year, they was talking about electricity, but you realize you don't know who to contact or where to get this contact from. So it will be sometime good. After this, we create like I don't know, maybe it could be Facebook or any WhatsApp group, just sharing information, helping each other, inspiring ourselves. And for example, you can have any conference in China, we in Africa, we in Asia, we're inviting each other just to inspiring. I can be limited, but here the way Jean was talking, I'm learning something. all the way peace light. They was talking, I'm getting something. So together we are strong. Please, let's work together. That's only way we can fight this challenge, this climate change. With our working unity, with our working together, there won't be any way we can fight this. Look what happened now in Ukraine, what happened in Russia. So we need ourselves to come together, to put our word, our say, our voice. You know what? We need peace. Without peace, the world is nothing. Thank you for this great opportunity. And I'm looking forward to meet some of you in different conferences to build up our friendship, our leadership for the next feature to be a good feature for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's very good. And I just say, if you want to, yeah, afterwards we'll put the things in your website. But if you want to get, further information, you leave your email there. So we'll, after meeting, we collect some information, we share with that. Okay. You are, and the IEEE, especially IEEEs, is a good platform. And I know IEEE has a foundation, every year, and especially for the Africa, smart village and the electricity something. They join the international organization, and is also the good way to share the resources, with the people we need. Okay. Thanks for your suggestions and comments.
Yes, and Ivan, I think you can see the screen I'm sharing now. So this is some of the examples we posted there. This has been presented in some international conference in past years, and you can find it. It's called Poverty Alleviation Strategy, or the strategic plan in China. So you can see they build this solar PV on the top of the roof. And also these slides you can see here is Dr. Ruomei. She's standing in front of the PV panels. Maybe you can recall your memory there. Yeah,
I will be interested to see about this. I hope I can contact you, or you can contact me. We're thinking about some of the countries.
Yeah, but to be honest, I'm not the expert in this one, but I can search some information for you. But this has been installed in some area in China now.
Ah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now we have 10 minutes about.
We have a lot of from the China, the participant. Could you just,
say something?
Give some voices, okay? Even you can speak in Chinese, no problem. 咱们的国内来的同学们和朋友们，你们可以。应该说说话，让别人知道你们呀，对不对？好吗？
Hello everyone.
小茹吧 ，OK.
I'm 小茹王 from Southwest Jiao Tong University, and I'm also the chair Committee on Women Engineers, IEEE PS Chapter Council. Thank you very much for your speech. And I like talk about something about the traditional value for the zero carbon. The progress in technology brings us with abundant supplies to make us living in comfort. Every production leads the consumption of the natural resources, and ever consuming behavior is indirectly or directly releasing the carbon. In addition, in many cases, it's pure waste, such as the nights in empty offices in non-working times, such as a cold room with air conditioning, where people have to put on sweaters in summer, such as a half-full dish thrown into the waste buckets. good news is that the history of this wasteful behavior is not long. If we look back, not very long ago, we Chinese people were so proud of saving a thrift. In the Chinese traditional culture, thrift is a kind of middle way, neither extravagant nor excessively harsh. It's a traditional attitude towards wealth and desires. It's not just good for self-cultivation, but also good for the environment, for the earth and for all creatures on the earth. So I think a lady, a woman, a girl can be a good role model and influence positively to her family members and friends. So I have confidence in Chinese traditional culture, and we hope to back to the Chinese traditional culture for zero carbon. That's my share. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Xiaoru. Yeah. We still have some minutes to the end of our session. Yes, please. I see Chinelo. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Chinelo Kafo from. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ruomei, for inviting us to this program.
Yeah.
Thank you. My question is, the last speaker said something interesting, the person that just spoke now. So I was hearing from someone that we can actually reuse carbon monoxide towards air-conditioned cooling, cooling system. So probably, I don't know whether there's someone here that can be able to share more light on this, because to me, I started making research. I just heard it this week and I started making research that, is it true? Can we actually use can we actually reuse carbon monoxide towards cooling? And if so, that would be nice. So I don't know if anybody might want to share details on this.
Okay, thank you. I think I got your point of reuse of carbon dioxide. Yes, it has been widely used. For example, our Coca-Cola, it uses the carbon dioxide there as well. And the carbon dioxide is also produced by some of the manufacturing process in the industry. But to reduce this carbon dioxide emission and to, for example, put this carbon dioxide in the ground or reuse it, to widely use it, is still a very unmature technology now. And I know GE already tried to build one power plant to reuse all this carbon dioxide. It can indeed make it achieve, but it will cost a lot. And that is not cost benefit, and they cannot make a trade-off. So at this stage, we cannot widely reuse the carbon dioxide now, especially in this manufacturing and this production and the design process in the industry application. And in our power system, we are now working on this use more renewable energy to be another kind of carbon dioxide reduction. But we are not using this carbon dioxide in our operation and control in the system. Yeah, I think maybe I can answer your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's not commercially visible, right? It's not commercially visible, as in it's expensive for now. The technology is expensive, right?
In some area, it's not very expensive, but in most of the case, they are still very expensive. You can Google it, you can find the answer. I think I see another. Andrew, you want to say something? I see you hands up.
Yes, greetings, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. In the chat, I put in several links. I'm here, Andrew Williams Jr., at the invitation of Adiyambu Prophet Cox, but I see Queen Mother Blakely here as well. We have all focused this day on the Sustainable Development Goals. That's how the presentation began. As you know, we're all facing critical climate chaos. And as a result of this pandemic, it's critically important that we join hands around the world. Now, there have been, I heard, challenges with working with governments and also businesses. I suggest and hope that we can take advantage of the work being done right now by the United Nations Global Compact. you'll see in the chat, there is a China branch of the local network of the United Nations Global Compact. They have a 2021 through 2023 global plan, and for Queen Mother's benefit, an Africa-specific plan. The trillions of dollars being committed now by the CFOs around the world to address these issues have to reach the grassroots local level. So I'm asking this team to be the ones to start creating your narratives in alignment with the global strategy that we can deliver ourselves and show that we are the example of the sample. So that's the general overview and thrust of my suggestion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's very good suggestions. Yes. And Julie, you want to say something again? Yes, please.
Yes, thank you again. I actually appreciate what Prince Andrew has just said now, because it partly answers what I wanted to recommend. I also wanted to tie to the issue that we are all part of BRICS. You know, it's Brazil, Russia, sorry to mention Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And that the question that I raised about the fires that happen because of lack of access to proper whether electricity or energy sources that actually lead to a lot of loss of life should actually be looked at in line with what Prince Andrew has just said now, in using what is available within the UN, the Global Compact Initiative, to say that maybe this group, partnership, other friends at a local level could actually look at a project, a process, a program that would say, can we at least start and see what is it that can be introduced in those communities that they are vulnerable to fires because of lack of energy, and not only those communities that are in squatter camps, because normally those communities are close to other communities that already have power grids that ESCOM and other power companies are supplying. How can we leverage that proximity, the proximity of a normal community to that is an informal settlement? Because what then people do, they still try and pull the power, but they do it illegally. And then we have people getting shocked, getting people, with all sorts of disasters. So maybe we can look at how to counter the problem. Whether it's the solar system idea, it just has to be put somewhere where it's safe and won't be stolen. Or with a situation where we can come up with a project that would work to support the two, or what I call the VVCs, the volatile and vulnerable communities. Because at the end of the day, it's an issue of life and death. It's as much as we'll continue discussing, but there are opportunities, as Prince Andrew has actually mentioned, maybe for this group to take a lead in some of the projects. And I think that is where Dr. Erwin is also alluding to say, what can we do? Can we start leading the narrative and the conversation and start in a small way as possible? There are communities in Africa, I know communities in South Africa where we can start to initiate some campaigns and projects.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yes, very good point. Yes, for the interest of time, it's already at the end of our event. Yes, we know we still have many questions we can discuss further. So Dr. Ruomei, you want to say anything else to close this session today?
Yeah. You just want me to say close, right?
Yeah, if you want, I can do it as well, yeah.
Yeah, we need to close, okay. And through this time, this session is quite different, It's the first time in my organized event, we have so long time in exchange of ideas and in discussion. I'm always feel like guilty because I should prepare much better than this time. But anyway, we cannot, to get something back, but we can start things from now on. Okay, I hope, everybody, if you have interest, you can leave your message, leave your contact. Even, yeah, we will publish a contact in our program with us. And what me and Li Gen, our main function is help to set up the connections, yeah, with each other, with our international organization, and we'll find, the benefit from the organization, from our network. Okay, same target to make, the renewable, the energy development, to make the better future. Okay, then thank you again. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we already have 2 minutes past the event. It's very successful indeed, and we enjoy our session today. And thank you very much for the speakers, their support, and their kind participants in this event. And without their support, we cannot make it successful. And thank you very much, and good afternoon, good night, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning as well, of course. Bye bye. Take care. Yeah. See you next time.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye bye. Thank you very much.
Next time, everyone to show your face, okay, to make you, more famous, right? Okay. Thank you. Okay.